Hi everyone, this is Uncle Gamer and I'm coming at you with another Gaming Espresso. Welcome. This has been an interesting week. We've had a lot of interesting news stories, but I found something that I want to talk about because it's something that's been near and dear to me. I'm really enjoying now all of you that have known me for a while know I've been a gamer for a long time, a PC gamer since the 286 days. In other words, since the beginning. Okay, so I've been a gamer for a long time, a computer gamer for 40 years, a PC gamer since the 286s. A lot of gaming, and I've seen a lot take place. One of the things I've always done, despite the fact that my jobs have always allowed me to be a hardware enthusiast, I've always been a mainstream gamer. And what I mean by that is I believe that segment of the market gets ignored. And so I've used philosophies and things about mainstream gaming, and enthusiasts look at me like, you're nuts, ultra is ultra, duh. And they're the lemmings falling off the side of the cliff. Enthusiasts used to be about, I had a discussion with a guy at Micro Center this week. Enthusiasts used to be about taking the low-cost parts and making them amazing. And now enthusiasts buy high-cost parts and then think they have to take them further. Folks, if I'm spending $500 or $1,000 on a CPU, I expect it to make dinner and fold the laundry when it's done. Okay, I don't only expect it to game, I expect it to do all this. I always get a kick out of it. You see review sites. This $800 video card made my computer games look amazing. For $800, it damn well better. Instead of being excited about it, you should be like, okay, it did what it's supposed to do. We don't. But there was this article from PC Gamer. Now, usually when I discuss articles from PC Gamer, I get on a soapbox and get really upset. This one didn't do that to me. So the apocalypse is about to happen. Something amazing is about to, I don't know, maybe Apple will start having good gaming support. Who knows? Something's happening. Dogs and cats. I don't know. But I know that this was a decent article. This article grabbed my attention. So the title of the article is Why 1,010 Gamers Built a Community Around Playing Games Years After Release. Now, the group is called Patient Gamers, and they're on Reddit. And their idea is, instead of rushing to buy the latest titles, why don't we wait a little bit? By the way, does this sound familiar yet? I've only been saying this for 20 plus years. Why don't we wait a little bit, let the game get better, then buy it and take our time. Don't rush to spend our money. Take our time. And I want to discuss the reasons this philosophy works. Now, let's start with games, because this is where it starts at. Let's start with PC games. Why is this an interesting philosophy? Now, their rule of thumb is 6 months, which I think is a fair rule of thumb. I would even maybe push that to a year, but six months is a fair rule of thumb. Now, the idea is this. By waiting, here's what happens. When you get to buy the game, you get to buy the game complete. You buy the game with the DLCs, with all the patching in place. If modding has been done, great mods have finally been filtered out of the minutia. And you get the total complete experience when you make the purchase, and you often make the purchase for less. Let me give you a classic example. I loved Fallout. I love still Fallout 4. Love Fallout 4. Have an amazing time playing Fallout 4. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in Fallout 4. And I bought it initially and started playing it. It's a good game. But here's what happened. Patches came out that made the game better. DLC came out that added more to the game. By the time I had gotten all that stuff, I'd kind of burnt out of the game. I'd played it a ton. I'd already played it through like 5 times when the first DLC hit. And I discovered, looking back, I never explored all the DLC all the way through. Now, it's not that I don't want to, it's not that it's a fun game, but I'm burnt out. I played so many hours that I'm burned out. And I see a lot of gamers do this. They'll buy a game and the game's okay and they'll play it through, and then DLC will release 3 months later and they'll say, yeah, you know what, I just don't want to revisit it. I've moved on to other things now. By waiting, by holding off that little bit and letting all the DLC comes in together, your first playthrough can be the complete game. instead of just a little tidbit of the game. It's been fully patched at this point. All the optimization is done. If there were mods, look at Fallout 4 as a great example. Okay, on initial release, there were just a ton of mods for Fallout 4, but they've had to be patched, and some were discontinued, and some new ones were developed later. If you go play Fallout 4 now, if you buy I don't know, is there one? If you buy an edition that has all the DLC with it, and you go play Fallout 4 right now, you're going to find the creme de la creme of the patch of the I'll get it in a minute, mods live. I do this live, one take. Can you believe it? I never make mistakes. You get the creme de la creme of the mods. You get the best of the modding experience. You get the patches all in place. You've got all the DLC. The game isn't going to change, and you can dive in and explore it to its full depth and still get an amazing amount of gameplay time out of it. And if there's a gold release edition, you're probably getting it for about half the price of what it would have cost you to buy the games and the mods. Think about that. You saved money. Now, yes, you weren't there on day one at release. It's a single-player game. Who cares? It doesn't impact your gameplay experience as somebody else beat the game first, unless you spend all your time watching their videos and don't want to play the game because you've seen everything. If you want to play the game, it's going to be that way. It's that way with every game that's ever been released. If you wait for a little bit, you get the complete package of the finished game with expansions and patches and mods. You get the complete, optimized, total experience for less money. And you don't have to come back and replay 4 or 5 times to add in the new material. This is by itself a great reason to do this. But let's take it a step further. Remember, we're talking about games that are releasing 1-2 years ago. This means you can also stay behind the hardware curve. Now, instead of rushing out to have the best of the best of the best of the $1,000 CPU and the $800 GPU you don't have to do that because you're staying behind the curve. If you're buying games if you're playing games that are 2-3 years old, you don't need current hardware to be able to really enjoy them. You can be on slightly older hardware, or you can be in the mainstream hardware. I'm actually getting ready to do a video. I was thinking about how to do this. And I see ultimate gaming rig. No. Ultimate mainstream gaming rig. No. Realistic game stream gaming rig. That'll be my video. You can buy a mainstream gaming rig. You can build a mainstream gaming rig and get years out of it because you're coming forward slowly with the gaming technology. You're being pickier about your games. Instead of rushing out and buying 20 games this year and discovering there was only 5 you liked, by the time you get to the older games, newsflash, you've got all the feedback about the game, and you might find there are quite a few you don't want to bother to spend money on. This approach to gaming is, to me, amazing, and I'm excited to see that there is an entire community that is built around this. I think it's amazing that a community has built itself around this. This is just healthy gaming. Yes, I said it. It's healthy gaming. We're not feeding money into an industry and supporting bad business practices with this approach to gaming. We're waiting for the finished product, and we're waiting till it goes on sale. We're not dumping tons of money into the latest hardware to be able to keep up with the latest games. They're trying to keep up with the latest hardware. We're not perpetuating the cycle. We're instead using our money thriftily and wisely to build a system that fits our needs. That's the essence of being a hardware enthusiast and a PC gamer, is to have that ability. Now we can focus on other things that have a bigger impact on the overall gaming experience for us. People get all excited about the CPU and GPU, and that's about frame rate, and that's about image quality of detail level. That's what that's about. But that's not about the day-to-day computing experience. Your sound, that's your interface to the game. That's what you hear. Your monitor, that's your interface to the game. Your keyboard, your mouse. These are the physical interfaces to the game. And yet we focus our money on the CPU and the GPU. I know, considering who I am, that's a funny argument, you might think. But I believe in reality for gamers. I'm a gamer. Before I ever worked in this industry, I was a gamer. Before I ever thought about being a reviewer, I was a gamer. I've always been a gamer. I will always be a gamer. I love PC gaming. It's helped me make a living. It's helped me support my family. It's given me years of gameplay experience that's wonderful and joyous. I'm talking about actual years in game play experience that's wonderful and joyous. It's my form of entertainment. It's my release. It's my outlet. And I want to make sure that you guys can have that same kind of experience. So I'm going to always give you the truth of my opinion, not a sales pitch, the truth of my opinion. And the truth of my opinion is that we get so focused in CPU and GPU. Now, these are important. I'm not going to say they're not important. But these are purchases that we overkill on. People buy, there are enthusiasts that will buy the Intel Extreme processors because they'll get all excited and go, look, I've got quad channel memory and I've got 12 cores and you know what? From a gaming perspective, it's meaningless. Now, most of the people buying it aren't gamers. Let's be real, they're not. But gamers tend to listen to these guys, and the truth is their perspective is meaningless in this case. Let me give you an example of the memory. Do you know quad channel memory is only effective if you fill it? If you're not filling the bandwidth, it's no more effective than dual channel memory. So why would you think it was great for gamers? Gamers don't fill quad channel memory. There's no way. Even the processor number of cores, look at it. Quad cores currently where most games are at. Now, some games are benefiting from additional cores, and that's why AMD's Ryzen is an exciting offering. A 6-core processor actually gives you a nice little potential bump going forward at the same price or less. That's a great idea. That's a great value. It's a wonderful value, but it's a value, and you don't have to spend $1,000 to do it. You don't spend $500. Hell, you're spending $200 to use a 6-core processor. It's the same thing with all that, but we then neglect the monitor. We go buy a $120 24-inch monitor and go, hey, I got a monitor, but look at my gaming card. Well, yeah, that was kind of a waste. We buy $12 keyboards. We buy $20 headphones. We don't put the time and money into the places where it's needed because we waste it. And yes, I use the term wasted. I really believe from the majority of gamers' perspective, it's incorrectly spent money. We waste it to buy brand new games. We waste it to buy every generation of a CPU and a GPU because we think we're gaining something from it. At the end of the day, as gamers, what we gain is the experience. And what these people have found is that experience isn't released constantly. That experience is released years ago and can come forward and let you come forward and let you do additional stuff and let you explore gaming in a slower, more sedate pace that will draw you in, that will make you be able to find the classics. And while you're digging for that gold, you're not spending your time looking at the dirt. This is important. So as a PC gamer, I suggest you check these guys out. I suggest you check out this philosophy. Now, if you've got money to burn and you got the hole in your pocket, feel free. But if you're like me and you got a mortgage and you got a car payment, and you got insurance and you got kids, and God forbid you got to feed these people, and electricity, and of course you need internet. By the time you do all this, you might be looking at your gaming budget each month and going, no. And I don't want to spend money yet because I want to wait for a release that gets me excited. This philosophy can help you out. As a mainstream gamer, I think this is a wonderful philosophy. It's a wonderful initiative. I'd love to see it push forward more. So hence this video. So in the meantime, I want you guys to go out, play some video games, have some fun, maybe go revisit your Steam list. Maybe you've got some older games you haven't played in a long time. Instead of going out to buy that new game, go back to the Steam list. Play through a few of the older games. Wait and see, because that new game in 6 months to 8 months might be half priced with DLCs and fully patched, and you get a better gaming experience for less money. In the meantime, I'm going to go play some games, and until I see you next time, my friends, game on! Now, what old game can I find? Total Annihilation! That would be awesome!